What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to a new episode of Lazy
Sundays
with Dionte
and NiJa.
It is a week from Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
Have you started Christmas shopping yet?
I'm done, and I'm excited to be done. I feel like Christmas, and I feel like we say this every year, Christmas comes so fast. And when it comes in, you're like low-key kind of sad because you're like, they did all of that just to have that one day, and then it's gone.
From January till like May, June, I feel like it's the longest part of the year. Then from July to August, it's like 1 month. And then September till the middle of December is probably about 2 weeks.
Yeah.
That's crazy, man. It's funny how you want it to come back, but as soon as it comes back, it feels like it's gone in a blink. And before we know it, it'll be 2023.
Yeah.
With that being said, we wrapping up 2022 on a high note. Can I get an amen from the choir?
Yeah, we might. I don't know. We might have one more podcast. Not 100% sure if we will or not.
I'm pretty sure we may have one.
We might, depending on how things go. Because once the holiday hit, I will say when you're trying to do stuff like this and then you're trying to prepare for the holiday, it's kind of hard to film a small production. True. And then it's like everybody else is on holiday time moving around, so nobody cares that you filming. So I don't know. We'll be able to. We're going to try.
Hopefully people tune in and catch these last episodes, however many there is.
Yeah. But how was your week?
I don't even remember, honestly. I mean, I guess it was okay.
Anything good happen? Anything juicy?
I don't know about juicy.
Nothing.
No, man. Don't nobody gossip around me.
You ain't got no good tea.
Got no good tea.
Don't nobody tell you no good tea? Or maybe tea you can't spill.
Honestly, I'm trying to think of the last time somebody gave me some tea. You know what's funny? When the older you get, the less tea you get. But I feel like the older you get, the less tea you get. I can't remember the last time somebody told me something that was being... That's because women they discuss anything. So it's like...
Boy, please. You just back home be getting good tea.
I don't, but as a man, it's only so much tea that you're going to get that you're going to be like, boy, this is good. The rest of it ain't even really tea. It's just like, get your shit together. But anyway.
Yeah.
Just to dive right on into it, man. One thing I wanted to talk about today, just this whole thing with Will Smith. As everybody knows, earlier this year, which honestly is ironic because the Oscars is when I feel like the Oscars it's like February-ish. Like, so we're pretty much...
I don't know. I just know it was long ago.
We're coming up on a year since it happened. Ironically, it don't feel like that though. But I feel like everybody understands the whole Will Smith and Chris Rock slap at the Oscars, how it went down and all that. We get all that. We don't really have to hop on that. But I just think it's ironic because, Will Smith doing his rounds for his new movie, Emancipation. Y'all go see that. Tell me how it is. Maybe I'll watch it if y'all tell me it's good. I'm not really into a lot of movies dealing with like slavery and other kind of social issues because it's like I kind of go to the movies for one to kind of enjoy my movie, and plus I feel like it's an oversaturated market anyways, but that's neither here nor there. The main thing is he's out promoting the movie, and it's just I've seen a lot online, social media wise, and just hearing different things. There's a lot of people that still feel a way about that whole incident, probably more than I would assume, because I wouldn't think people would still care about that, especially in today's society.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of people that feel strongly about that. Like, they don't want to see his movies. They don't want people to go see it. They don't kind of want him to be able to work. Ironically, I look at it, you know what I'm saying? A lot of that, I feel like it's a little bit of racism sprinkled here and there from that. But What's your thoughts on that?
I feel like, it took for me to hear somebody say this, for me to be like, oh, that does make a lot of sense. I think the reason why it seems like we're hearing about it a lot, like it's like, oh, why are we still talking about this, is because at the time when it happened, he wasn't doing any press. He wasn't on social media.
That's
so
true.
now this is everybody's first chance to really get to have a raw interview with him and ask him those questions about things then. And I mean, we know that's how it go anyway. When you're in the media, if anything happens, when you're doing your press run about other stuff that has nothing to do with that, you're going to get that. But because he wasn't in the press in any type of way or media, he was off social media, now everybody's like, okay, this is our first opportunity to talk to you about any of this stuff because you've been missing. So I think it's more of that, which is why it seems like an uptick. I don't think it really is. I just think it's just we haven't had a chance to actually even ask you about this and hear it from your mouth. And I think that's what it is. But it always sucks when stuff like this happen because it overshadows what that person is trying to do. It overshadows if they sincerely felt bad for what they did. Like, it just overshadows all the positivity and you start focusing more on the negative stuff. And I mean, like we always say, at the end of the day, you can't tell people how to feel.
Plus,
but
I just think it's weird because of the sense that overall, it's not like this was 50 Cent slapping him on stage, which ironically, for everything about 50, you actually hear a lot of stories about how he's such a good dude. But it's not a situation like that where it's like this person is known for, it's fucking Will Smith. He's probably the safest black person.
But I think that's why people felt the way, because they're like, not you, but
even then, it's like,
it's people like that, they break.
But exactly. I mean, everybody's human, but at the same time, it's just ironic to me that everybody's like, whoa, as far as supporting them. Like, again, we're talking about a dude who hasn't really done anything. He doesn't even cuss.
Yeah.
Well, at least, you know what I'm saying, from our knowledge, in front of, you know what I'm saying, in front of cameras. So it's like, for somebody like that to have, like, a good portion of the world to kind of turn on you, I just think that shit is bizarre, especially for somebody like me who makes a lot of mistakes. Like, so it's like, if y'all can't take Will Smith back for slapping a dude for coming at his wife, I get he a comedian, but at the same day, you gotta I don't take the notion of you know, it's a comedian, so he get to say whatever he want on stage. Regardless, if you're going to talk about anybody, you got to be prepared for how they react. So while he was still in the wrong, you know, you still kind of got to be prepared for that. So I just think it's just pretty crazy that it's been a lot of talk about not really supporting dude at all. It's like, I don't know. It's
like people are using him to make an example. I feel like whenever you have certain people that get in trouble in the industry, they kind of try to use them and be like, all right, we're going to use you as an example so nobody ever does this again. But sometimes it's done to all the wrong people, because it never came across like Will Smith wasn't sorry for what he did. You can clearly tell, like, he really, it was like just a raw emotion. Like you were saying, we're all human. But it just sucks because when you are a part of that world and you're dealing with certain type of people, you know, you run into those issues of people, you know, basically, what do they call it? It's a lot of gatekeeping, and you deal with a lot of people trying to block you basically from money.
Even with black people, that's with the whole, oh, we got to act a certain way in front of company or in front of, and it's like, bruh,
and that's kind of how it is.
He don't represent all black people, and nor should he have to feel like he does.
No, I don't feel like he should have to wear that. But people put you in those positions even if you don't want to be. That's just the name of fame, I guess.
At any rate.
Yeah. But next topic. So apparently there was this video floating around on TikTok. These nurses were in their full-on nurse outfits, their badge.
I think they was at work.
They was on the clock. They were actually on the clock, and they were discussing their icks. And icks is basically kind of like things you don't like, pet peeves, kind of like along those lines. So they were discussing their icks that, patients do or their families do when they are about to have babies and different stuff like that. So they went on and naming their icks. Well, apparently they ended up losing their jobs. And social media was like pissed because they're like, oh, it's like a race thing. And because I think the majority of the women, nurses in the video were black. I think it was probably like one or two women that were white. Yeah. And so it was like a whole thing. And we actually were kind of like, no, we get it. We get why they lost their job. A lot of people felt like they shouldn't have lost their job. And we just have an issue, not them personally, but people in their positions doing things like that, and why we understood why they lost their job. So why do you agree with them losing their job? Or just anybody in the service industry when they do stuff like that?
Yeah, I'm not really a fan, especially in a situation like that where you're supposed to be taking care of people and you're making TikToks and shit about your icks and the stuff that, and then on top of it, they were at work, like, so I'm pretty sure that's the main reason why they got fired. Like, not only are you really, like, the video kind of weird, it's like you're on the clock. I'm pretty sure, like, it's a clause in your contract, and that's kind of how it comes across anyways, as far as why they did that. I also want to say, because it was a lot of videos of people saying stuff like, well, they weren't the first ones to make this video. What about the white ladies that made this video too? And apparently they got fired too. So, like,
everybody lost their job.
Everybody's losing their job.
Keep naming them, and we're going to run through those.
This isn't, and I hate when people take it to the, oh, it's they only did this because they was black thing. Like, because
sometimes you're just wrong.
Sometimes you're just wrong, bro. I get, like, bro, it's a lot of situations where you can look at stuff and be like, yo, it's a little bit of racism at play here, or stereotyping. But in a situation like this, we can't even blame it on that. Yeah. Because it's like, your job is to take care of people. I don't really care what color you are. If you're a nasty person, you don't need to be around.
No. And I go ahead. You can finish your thought.
Oh, no, go ahead.
But no, I totally agree with that, because it was, I mean, I'm not trying to be dramatic, but if you've ever had a bad experience, whether it's medical or just regular fast food, to me, it's all the same, because you're doing a service. Like, if you play with my food and you don't do what you're supposed to do, I could get extremely sick. My child can get sick when they consume this food. I take that very serious. Don't play with my food. You know what I'm saying? Like, do your job right. Make sure, And the same thing in the medical field. It's like, you're there to make people feel comfortable. I feel like that's the most vulnerable you'll ever be in your life, is being, under somebody else's care in a hospital. And, the closest we came to that is when I had Sophia, and it was nowhere near extreme like this, but we dealt with the nurses not following protocol, and I was pushing for like 3 hours. And the doctor was pissed off because he's like, why is she just, like Sophia could have went into distress, and then I would have had to go into emergency C-section, and that could have easily spiraled into her not making it. So it's kind of like, you kind of got to do what you're supposed to do. Who cares if you've been here all day? Like, you have to be on it and remember these things. And I'm not saying that was their case, but just having a bad experience. So when you hear people like that, that's nurses, and labor and delivery nurses, because I think some of them were, and you run into them being like, oh, you just got here and you asking me for this, or your baby is still in your hand and you asking me how much they weigh. Like, this is like a moment that some women never get. So I think to just be so insensitive about such a vulnerable time in people's lives, I think is just, you deserve to lose your job. Obviously, you don't care that much.
This is probably one of the most stressful things you can go through is having a kid, bro. You don't know what to expect. That's
surgery, anything.
So it's like you can't have, like, it's not, you went to school to be a nurse. I didn't. So obviously it's stuff that you looking at like, damn, that's dumb. But to me, I don't know. Like, ain't nobody, I haven't heard anybody say how much my baby weigh. So how much does my fucking baby weigh? Like,
yeah.
So that's what make this stuff weird like that, man.
Yeah. That's why, you know, you hear people say it takes a special kind of person to be a teacher, you know, like jobs like that, because it takes a lot of patience. Sometimes you have to be selfless and be like, this isn't about me. Yes, I'm tired. I may not be getting the pay that I want, but that does not mean that you deserve not the highest care or less care, like, or less of my patience, because, you know, I can be the deciding factor whether you live or not, because I'm just impatient and not moving quick enough.
And speaking of, it was a lot of people which let me know that, okay, these was just on their own type of time being evil, because if I had go on TikTok, and I don't know how to really, because I don't know how
TikTok
to work TikTok.
We old, man.
Listen, I know for a fact, because I've seen a few of them. I've seen at least 5 videos, bro, where different women really stopping that video and being like, yo, I was letting stuff go, but I seen this video and I noticed that this lady or these from that video were the ones that were taking care of me. When, like, I seen a lady say, yo, I noticed the second nurse, even though she still had a mask on her face, I noticed her when I was there, you know, when she was pregnant with her kid or pregnant with her son. She was telling the lady, yo, I'm in pain, I'm this, I'm that. And she was saying, no, it's Braxton Hicks, you'll be fine, da-da-da-da. Come to find out, they had to come back like 2 days later, go to the ER. I think she ends up losing the son in the mix of that. So it's like, not only do I recognize you because you were the main lady giving me stress when I was pregnant with my kid that I now lost, but you're making fucking TikToks about your icks. Imagine how that would make, like, I think she's talking about suing, but I would have went in that shit and lost my mind. I would have had to find you.
Yeah.
Because you were a part of a traumatic situation in my life.
Yeah.
You over this shit, TikToking, oh, this my icks. Like,
you
to the moon.
You just shouldn't, like, I don't understand. Like, first of all,
brain be at?
Like, when I used to vlog a lot, and like, and if I was trying to get footage and I was on my lunch break, guess who made sure they was vlogging like this, so you can't see the background of where I worked. Like, you got to think about stuff like that. Like, people be filming in their uniforms and then wonder why they lose their job. Like, the company wants no association with whatever you're saying or whatever you're doing. But this is my last thing I'm gonna say about this, and I'm gonna leave it alone because this really, really got under my skin. And I understand, like, yes, they're saying a lot of people do this, but it's a big deal, specifically for people like that in the medical industry, because a lot of black women, it's shown and proved that black women die at a higher rate in the hospital giving birth. So it's a big deal to us when we see stuff like this and we see people making light of just them being impatient,
especially when the people look like you. I think that's the most disappointing part. Because
it don't matter.
You assume that they're the ones that is going to try to help you out the most, but in actuality, they're the ones making fucking TikToks.
Yeah,
I hate my icks.
It's just like, are you serious? Like,
you dancing, saying how much you hate people.
It happens. It happens so much, and it's sad. But it's like, now you lost your job a couple of weeks before Christmas.
Look, you got all the time in the world now to watch Lazy Sundays pod with Dionte and NiJa.
They definitely not gonna watch this. They're gonna be like,
they're probably gonna comment on this shit hot. Let's go, man. Let me know how y'all feeling. I know you feel goofy as hell.
Hey,
imagine, how would you feel if I came home and I was like, yo, so look, right, I lost my job today. And you'll probably be like, what?
What happened?
they laying people off, da, 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 da. And then I got to be like, they fired me over TikTok. Or maybe I'll just be like, yeah, they laid me off. And then you get on TikTok and you see me making a video. And you probably like, this is why they fired you, isn't it? Come on, man. You lost your job because you couldn't keep your icks to yourself. You a 40, 50-year-old lady talking about a damn ick.
You got to be careful.
I'm like, yo.
God bless.
What the fuck is an ick?
Y'all got to chill. Stay off of social media. That's that social media bug.
The weed.
Chill. Anyways.
That social media bug, the bitch in the ass.
And now you ain't got no job.
And now the fire bug just slaps you in the
face.
I
don't wish that on nobody. I understand that we all need our jobs, but when you do stuff like that, it just make me feel like apparently you don't care.
If you don't care about your job,
because you moving like you don't.
Like that, I want you to lose it.
Yeah. You don't need to be in that field.
Sometimes you got to learn your fucking lesson, bro.
Yeah.
I bet they get another fucking job if they're able. That's the thing, too. A lot of these, you can just move to a small town and now you back being a nurse.
Mm-hmm.
That shit crazy. But at least the next time, hopefully, you learn your lesson. You get
I
off
hope
of social
so.
media
I hope
you
so.
Stop, you know what I'm saying? Actually help these people out. You ass.
Dang. How many times did he say the B word? Did y'all count? Because I'm definitely going to bleep it out.
Don't bleep it out. They need to hear it.
No, they don't. With that being said, y'all.
Hey, I'm TikToking for the 5 ladies. I'm raising money that I'm not going to give them.
He's not. We will see y'all.
I'm going to keep the money, though.
In the next podcast.
They still 5, but I'm going to keep the money.
Bye.